by my producer, Brent, that I reverted to my old days as host of AFA Report. I tell you what, old habits, and I'm an old guy. I guess I just hard to change. AFA Today it is. Fred Jackson sitting in for Kevin McCullough, and we are talking about the latest revelations on Obamacare. The president, as I mentioned last night, had a get-together with 200 supporters at the White House. Not much opposition there. And changing his story. Remember, his story was, you like your doctors, you like your health insurance, you can keep it. Well, now that's found out to be a lie, as millions are getting their policies canceled and told they have to get a new policy, which is much more expensive. And we're also finding out, Wall Street Journal story in the last 24 hours, that it's not working out the way they told us with regards to who's signing up. It's older people that are signing up. The young people they thought that would come on board are not doing that. They're not signing up. They're going to take the fine, $95 a year, rather than go in and pay those monthly premiums. So what's going to happen? Speculation is the insurance companies, they will lose. They will be in the red because these policies will cost them more than the total revenue coming in. And these insurance companies will likely simply get out. That's all there is to it. And as we have said, and has been warned now for several years, the intent, and President Barack Obama has been caught on tape, Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid caught on tape saying they want a single supplier system. In other words, the federal government controlling it all. That should be a scary thought for all of us. Let's go back to our phones, to North Carolina. And Bob, welcome to the program, sir.
Hey, thank you very much. I was sitting here on hold. I was just thinking about a couple hundred things I'd like to say, but I realize I can't do that. But I was just going to mention something I posted on the blog today in regards to the health care. I mean, you know, I'm on Medicare, and it didn't really affect me, but it upsets me. I knew it was a con job years ago. You know, anything it says has been a con job. But anyway, what I posted was that I put that the day that Benedict Roberts misinterpreted the Constitution, that made it possible for the government to tell you that you had to buy something, is the day that, in a technical sense, we became a socialist nation. Mm-hmm. Now they could dictate to us, you know, what we have to purchase. But another thing is that it's almost like they got in the scenario here backwards. The older generation can afford to pay this a whole lot more than the younger guys can, because I'd venture to say that 50% of the four-year degree young people are out of work. There's no jobs out here. They have no way to pay it.
Nope.
And you know, and when they do, when they go into these entry-level jobs, they really don't make the money to foot the bill for everybody else. But it's a farce, and I think you're 100% right. It was all intended to be a one-pay system, and I think, when they realize it's failed, or they knew it was going to fail, that it will probably this time next year it'll all be in one system.
I believe it's going to happen very, very soon, Bob. Appreciate your call. I do believe it was the intent to go the route of what we've seen in medical care in Britain, in France, in Germany, in Canada, and we know how those systems work. A lot of people say, well, look, it worked in Canada. It worked in Massachusetts when Mitt Romney was there. Well, no, it hasn't. And what has happened is they basically have run out of money. So they have to start budgeting. And in Canada, when I go back to visit family there, quite often in the newspapers, there will be a notice that this emergency room at this particular hospital is shut down this weekend. You have to drive 15, 20 miles further to find a hospital because they've run out of money for the rest of the year. This is happening. This is real, folks. This is not speculative. It's not rhetoric. This is what's happening with healthcare in this country. And it is what it was predicted by many people with regards to Obamacare. Teresa in Alabama, welcome to AFA Today. Go ahead.
Hi, thank you. I appreciate all you guys do to speak truth in this day and age. I have a related story. My insurance premiums have not been affected yet that I know of. However, I did receive my monthly internet service bill, and I noticed it was much, much higher than normal. In fact, I added it up, and it was 53% higher, and it's not bundled with any other service, just internet, DSL. And then I find a very small footnote at the bottom that says there was a federal universal service fee increased on 10/1, and it is to support the telecommunications of low-income households. And I just know that has to have something to do because of the date that it was implemented, that, again, the unintended consequence. Not only are we having to pay for others' health care, also, I guess now support their access to the internet for the website that does not work. And I just found that to be ironic, and I can't get any answers from my internet service provider. And again, I just would like to urge Americans to check maybe their internet bill as well, and just to stand up. I'm a widow, and everything that eats into my income takes away from my kids. So, a higher internet bill means a lot to me. And, again, unintended consequences are important to take notice of.
That is a fascinating story, Teresa. I want to go home and read my bill from my internet provider to see that. But it should not surprise us, Teresa, because of the philosophy of this government. They believe in the redistribution of wealth, and they will do that. They won't tell you about it. Of course not. They're not going to tell you about it. You just, like you did, Teresa, you open up your bill, and lo and behold, you see this increase, and you do a little investigating. And what is it? It is this federal tax. I know when I get my telephone bill, it is absolutely amazing to me that it's about 40% extra added on in taxes and excise fees and line rental charges and all of this kind of stuff. And I have the very basic of telephone service. So, Teresa, thank you for that. And I'm hoping everyone out there who heard Teresa's story, check out your bill. That's what it's all about, folks. That's what socialism is all about. It's about the redistribution of wealth. It's taking away from hardworking Americans and adding up and adding to their taxes, and so that somebody else who's getting the service for free can continue to get it for free. That's not what has made America great. What made America great, and many people say, well, we're a generous nation. We sure are. It is a generous nation. But what has made America great is that the individual makes the decision as to who they're going to contribute to, who they're going to help out. And this is the most generous nation on the face of the earth. That is without dispute. But it should be left up to the individual, and that's biblical, folks. That as Christians, we have an obligation to help out those who are needy indeed. But there are some people out there that are in trouble because of what they have done or not done. They are disobedient to God's will, and they're in trouble. They're lazy. They don't want to work. They just want to take all the freebies that the government is offering them these days. We're teaching our kids this. We're teaching our kids that this is the way a nation should run, and that's wrong. That is not, as I say, what has made America great. Back to our phones. James in Arkansas, welcome to AFA Today. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. I just first want to say how much I appreciate AFA, and I did get to honor y'all with a gift at Sherathon and other times during the year.
We sure appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, my health insurance, only my health insurance premium has now gone up to $900 a month.
Oh, my.
And by the time I pay my car insurance and my homeowner's insurance and my life insurance and tithe and a house payment, I don't have a car payment and I don't have any credit card debt, but I don't have any money left to put in savings.
James, how big an increase was that? $900 a month?
Yeah, it's $900 a month for me and my wife and my two daughters.
Oh, my.
That are under 25. Yeah, is that not something?
Oh.
And I just wonder how I can't afford it.
Mm.
But see, we've been taught that we have to have insurance, and it's the whole thing's a scam. Car insurance, all of it's a scam. They write laws so that you can't get your license tags renewed if you don't have insurance, and everybody thinks I don't have to have health insurance, but my wife would probably leave me if I didn't have it.
Well,
somebody who does have it.
And James, that is not the debate. I think most people would agree that they want some type of health insurance.
Right.
But the issue here is that by law now, you're being told that you're not only being told to have health insurance, you're being told what packages you must buy.
Yes.
You don't have any choice anymore. And there's a whole pile of things being added on by order of this law that you don't need, but you're paying for other people. This is what's going on here. But $900, bless your heart. And I'm sure, again, James, we appreciate very much that testimony. Thanks for calling in. There you have it, folks. This is one program, and we opened up the phones about 20 minutes ago. But you don't hear these stories in the mainstream media. You certainly don't hear them from the Obama administration. But it's happening out there, folks. What we warn people about, what folks warn people about that this was going to happen is happening. You know, the glitch, the technical glitch, is really a side story to all of this. Obviously, it's part of the incompetence and the lack of thought and planning that went into this. But the real story is this, is what it's doing to healthcare. And this is only chapter 1 of people having to pay a whole lot more for health insurance. Chapter 2 is when the federal government takes complete control of health insurance in this country, and in order to save money, they start cutting back on services. How much time you can spend with your doctor. Procedures such as cataract surgery, hip replacement, knee replacement, all those sorts of things, the so-called electives. You'll wait longer and longer and longer for them. That's chapter 2. We haven't seen that yet, obviously. We're just into chapter 1. But Americans are finding out the raw truth of what Obamacare is all about. Fran, go ahead. Welcome to the program.
Hi, this is Fran. Excuse me, if I don't recall, right before Obamacare was passed, and was it October of 10? August of 10, Rahm Emanuel's brother was given, he asked for $50 million from the government, or the president gave him, whoever gives the money out for start businesses.
Mm-hmm.
But he borrowed he got $50 million, and Obama was doing Solyndra and all that. Rahm Emanuel's brother got the $50 million so he could start his own universal health care system, so he could have the monopoly of the whole United States after all the other health care systems fell through because they went in the red because they were being outbid or overtaken by this healthcare system that he was funding for Rahm Emanuel's brother. And I remember hearing that a couple of years ago, but you reminded me of it when you said one of the reasons they're probably having this Obamacare is to, like you said, all the other insurance companies will be in the red if nobody buys it. If
That's
everybody
right.
takes a penalty.
Hey, Fran, Fran, listen to this. You just mentioned about Rahm Emanuel, former White House Chief of Staff, his brother.
Yes.
His brother is Ezekiel Emanuel. Now, Gary Bauer, pro-family leader Gary Bauer, puts out an end-of-day report every day. Listen to what Ezekiel Emanuel said just this past weekend, all right? He's an architect, as you pointed out, of Obamacare and brother to former White House Chief of Staff Rahm Emanuel. Now, this is what Ezekiel Emanuel said over the weekend. The individual market is going away. That's what he said just this past weekend. The individual market is going away. Now, it's fascinating, Fran, that you brought up Rahm Emanuel's brother and what he said back 2 or 3 years ago. He repeated again over this past weekend, according to Gary Bauer, the individual market is going away. You see, folks, Fran, thank you for bringing this up. I wanted to get to it, but I had it down on my stack of papers, this quote. This is by design. What you are seeing right now is by design. It's no accident. It's no accident. It's not an oops. This is the way it was designed to be. It's the federal government taking over health care in this country. Thank you so much. I think we have time for one more call. We're going to try to squeeze it in. Garnet in Virginia. Go ahead, Garnet.
Yes.
we're being forced to pay for other people what we don't need.
Mm-hmm.
But if you look at page 272, you'll find that people 76 years and older, they have no cancer care in this new policy.
Really?
272 page.
Page 272 of the Affordable Health Care Act.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's the death panel that Miss Pelosi put in place. You check it out and you'll see it's the truth.
Yeah.
And they got it worked in there, and it just ain't no way. They got everything hidden here and yonder. You got to go through the whole thing. But when you get the increments out of it, you find out there's a whole lot of bad in it.
All right, Garnet. Well, thank you very much for that. I hope folks will check that out. We are going to continue, folks, to cover this story. Just want to mention very quickly, the Senate Republican Conference under John Thune has put together a website, republican.senate.gov/yourstory. You can go there and you can type out your story, your experience so far with Obamacare, all right? You can go there, and they want to find out those. They want to catalog individual stories out there, just as you've heard today. 25 minutes of this program, AFA Today, and you've heard people and what they're experiencing so far. Millions of Americans are experiencing the same thing. Been good to be with you today on AFA Today. Fred Jackson sitting in for Kevin McCullough. We got to run. More great programming coming your way on American Family Radio. And American Family Radio here 24 hours a day, educating and motivating you to take action. Speak up, speak out, be involved. Have yourself a great day.